And so this is a massive incursion on humanity.
I really started it as a joke.
You know, it's really easy when you know nothing.
I'm Richard Gearhart.
And I'm Elizabeth Gearhart. You just heard some snippets from our show. Are you thinking of starting a new business? Stay tuned.
It's time for your new business journey. 2 in 5 Americans are starting their own business, or at least thinking about starting their own business. And we have a question for our panel. What's the one mistake every new entrepreneur should avoid, but you had to learn the hard way? Let's start off with Mark. Mark, great to see you on our show. Mark Weinstein.
First of all, it's really interesting, like, to pick the one mistake, right? Because generally, we make so many. But here's what I would say. I would say there's a statistic, there's a data point. 90% of companies that succeed on something other than the first idea that you're putting everything behind. So the first mistake that I really want to flag for everybody is don't be utterly unflexible when it's time to port. It's time to move the business into something else. Let it morph. Make sure you let it morph if that's where the market is telling you it needs to go. Don't be stuck with your righteousness.
I totally get that. So many people that we work with become infatuated with their idea and they can't let go of it. And sometimes it is time to move on. That was really helpful. Thanks a lot. And now, Gary Cohen, tell us, what is the one mistake that every entrepreneur should avoid, but you had to learn it the hard way?
I think I'd augment Mark's, which is telling. Telling is a big mistake for entrepreneurs. They think they know, and they need to really get to, I don't know. And they could go in between that and say, I know, but I'm going to listen anyways. So it's going from telling to asking. As an entrepreneur, the more they ask, not just to be informed, but to move people forward, I think is the counter of that. So stop telling, start asking.
I love that.
I love that too. Tim Nealon, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
what is the mistake that every entrepreneur should avoid, but you had to learn the hard way?
Well, the big one for me, and I have to learn this every so often, even still, is that you don't have to do it all yourself. A lot of people, when they first get into business, they feel that, there's a couple of factors at play, right? This is my baby. If I bring on other people, I'm probably going to have to pay them money or give them part of my company, so there's always this hesitation to involve others and this need to do it yourself. And I have fallen for that mistake. I mean, I'm good for it at least once a month, even now. But the biggest piece of advice I could give somebody to avoid that mistake is realize that, one, you don't always have the best answer, and two, if you're in this for the long haul, more likely you're not going to be able to do it by yourself. So you might as well become comfortable, bringing people into your company early on and learning how to rely on them to help you achieve what you're trying to achieve.
And absolutely. And isn't that the ultimate goal, is to build an organization full of people that can do a lot of things? And so if you don't let go, then you'll never get to that point.
That's right.
Elizabeth.
This is a big one I think a lot of people face, and that is keeping track of the money and sending out your invoices. I have invoices I need to send out for the studio, and it's on my list every single day. I do actually have an accountant now that can help me with QuickBooks that will send out the invoices. I just have to give her the information. But, it's hard, especially starting out, to ask people to pay you, but you deserve to be paid, and they'll pay the invoices if you send them. But you really
Amazing how that works.
But you really have to get the money piece down early. We've had so many people on this show that have said, get QuickBooks or something the first day you start business.
Absolutely. Well, very good advice. I guess mine is avoid sloppy hiring practices. One of the first people that I hired, I was so enthusiastic about getting them on board. I couldn't believe that somebody would actually want to work for me. And the price was right. And I was like, this is great. This is easy. Well, it turns out I did do a background check. I didn't do a thorough one, but it turns out that just before we made the final decision, we did another background check and we found out some stuff that was in this guy's past that really didn't fit with our brand. And I had to tell him, no, we can't take you on at the last minute. I'd already sort of gone public with the hire. And so it was pretty embarrassing. I feel like if I had done my research a little bit better, I could have avoided that mistake. So my advice is if you're hiring, make sure that you check references, you do background screenings, you get all the information about this person that you can, because hiring's hard enough without making those kinds of blunders. And so that's my advice.
It's amazing things will turn up in a Google search that don't turn up on a background check.
That's right. Check their Facebook page.